I feel like Wardley wins this fight with a knockout. I don't know why I'm thinking of it, but it's just, you know when you know.
Some great spars. Great spars. They were tough spars. Tough for it. They went to war, basically, for the fall.
Derek Chisora has never been one to mince words, and his latest comments about Joseph Parker are proof that Ward Chisora hasn't mellowed one bit. After rumors surfaced that Parker had been knocked out in sparring, Chisora wasted no time firing shots at the former WBO heavyweight champion, accusing him of hiding behind.
And Joseph is a beast as well, but I believe that Fabio Wardley wins this fight with a knockout, it will stop Joseph Parker. Trust me on this. Put your house on this deal, I'm telling you. It's going to be electric.
Behind excuses and losing his fighting edge. But Chisora's tirade didn't stop there. It came with a declaration of loyalty. He made it crystal clear that he's fully backing Fabio Wardley. Sources close to Chisora revealed that he's been watching Wardley train closely in the gym and has been thoroughly impressed.
Because that's only sparring. If you get dropped in sparring, it means you're learning. Tomorrow morning you don't get dropped in the same shot. So him getting dropped in sparring, that means he's learning on the job. So it's okay. Who cares? Alexander usually gets dropped in sparring, but
he's fresher, hungrier, and meaner, Chisora reportedly said, describing the British prospect as having that bite you can't teach. True to form, Chisora didn't just talk. He acted. He's betting on Wardley to win by knockout, putting his money where his mouth is. Yet, in classic
once, but I'm talking about with somebody who doesn't fiddle around, somebody who actually would like to get him in the latter rounds and is capable of knocking people over. You know, he's a puncher. You've seen him do it. And he's
Chisora fashion, he tempered his bold prediction with a dash of veteran realism. It's only sparring. He reminded everyone, his tone calm but edged with unmistakable authority. It was the voice of a man who's fought every kind of battle the heavyweight division can offer, mixing respect with a hard truth. His message was simple.
I'm hearing things that he's been dropped in the ring, in the gym and stuff like that. But that's okay too, because I took a couple spills, little slips in the ring and the gym. That's okay, but we're going to see. This is going to be
Fabio Wardley's time is coming, and no excuses will save Joseph Parker when that first bell rings. Promoter Frank Warren echoed Chisora's sentiment with trademark conviction. The Queensberry boss described Wardley as a dangerous puncher who thrives under pressure. He's not a hype job, Warren stated firmly. His power is real, tested.
He relies on his power far too much. He hasn't brought enough to his game right now, and I thought he would have kicked on from that. If he's going to have any chance against Joseph Parker, then he can't just rely on that big right hand. Joseph Parker's a seasoned, well-schooled athlete.
Who hits hard.
Yeah, who hits hard. He's on a resurgence in terms of his confidence and where he is in boxing now, Parker. So it's
and feared. One boxing insider summed it up best. When Frank Warren starts backing your knockout power, the division pays attention, and they're listening now. Veteran heavyweight Shannon Briggs also weighed in, offering the perspective of someone who's lived through boxing's toughest lessons. The former world champion dismissed the spar.
Look, I have confidence in my power against Parker, against everyone in this division. I believe right opportunity, right moment, right occasion, I can knock anyone out. That is, for me, I think that's there, but there's a lot more that goes into it, piecing it together properly and doing all that. But Parker has proven that he can go down and get back up and will himself through. So I'm going to have to be smart, strategic about how I go about trying to get the finish.
Rumors as nothing more than part of the process. Every fighter gets clipped in the gym, Briggs said. It's how you respond that matters. To him, Parker's resilience after such setbacks reveals more about his true character than any rumor ever could. Iron sharpens iron, Briggs added, reminding fans that getting knocked down.
He's got to go to the deep waters. Unless somebody slips up and get caught early. But we gotta get him into the deep water.
Whether in the ring or the gym is just another step in the evolution of a fighter. Former world champion Dee McKenzie offered a more technical breakdown of the upcoming Parker vs. Wardley clash. While acknowledging Wardley's frightening knockout power, McKenzie cautioned that sheer strength won't be enough to beat a technician like Parker. Against someone as seasoned as Joseph Parker, timing, adaptability, and composure decide the outcome, McKenzie explained. Wardley's raw power gives him a puncher's chance, but Parker's experience, discipline, and ring IQ could neutralize that explosiveness, especially if the fight turns into a chess match. Interestingly, Fabio Wardley's own reaction carried a maturity that caught many by surprise. There was no trash talk or bravado, just quiet, measured confidence. Wardley praised Parker's toughness and admitted that patience...
Look, I think it's a great fight. I mean, firstly, Joe Parker is on an incredible run.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's beaten Wilder when no one really wanted to fight him. He's beaten Zhang when he was like the bogeyman, and he's just beaten Bakoli, although, you know, on short notice. I mean, that was a dangerous fight to take. So
Absolutely.
I love Joe. I think he deserves an opportunity. Joe against Dubois, Joe against Usyk, Joe against AJ. They're all great fights. I think
could be the key to victory. It's about control, not chaos. He said, every punch doesn't have to end a fight, it just has to count. Those words marked a new stage in Wardley's evolution. He's no longer just a raw power puncher, he's learning to think, calculate, and execute with precision, traits of a fighter stepping into elite territory. Trainer Buddy McGirt, a respected voice in the sport, perfectly captured that sentiment. Endurance and control win championship fights, McGirt said. He believes the bout won't be decided in the early rounds but in the final, oxygen-starved minutes when fatigue sets in and mental toughness becomes everything. That's when we find out who's really built for it, he added. McGirt's wisdom underscored a timeless truth. In boxing, champions are made not by...
Obviously, you've been in with Fabio Wardley on a couple of occasions. What are his biggest qualities?
Well, you don't need me to tell you nothing more than he can punch very hard. You know, you only have to ask my face. He can really bang, and he's gritty. He's tough and he's gritty. You know, that's definitely his strengths. But then again, so is Joseph Park. You know, very tough, very durable, very good boxing brain. It's a cracking fight, though.
Power alone, but by clarity under exhaustion. Eddie Hearn, never shy to give credit where it's due, praised Parker's resurgence. He's back operating at an elite level, Hearn said. Beating Wilder and Zhang back-to-back erased every doubt about his durability and mindset. Hearn credited Andy Lee for transforming Parker into a smarter, calmer, and more tactical fighter. This isn't the same Parker who fought Joshua or White, Hearn explained. This version fights with control, not desperation. To Hearn, Parker's rebirth is one of boxing's most impressive comeback stories, a fallen champion rebuilding himself piece by piece. He's not chasing names, Hearn concluded. He's chasing excellence. That's the difference.
Fucking fight, though. It just it's going to have everyone, you know, just on the edge of their seat. I can already see it. What we're going for. Will Fabio be losing the fight again and come back? Or is Joseph Parker too cute, too experienced, and know too much? You know, you're on the edge of the seat, kind of.
Finally, British heavyweight Fraser Clark, who has shared training space with both Parker and Wardley, offered perhaps the most balanced assessment. Fabio hits frighteningly hard, Clark admitted, but Parker's composure under fire is something you can't underestimate. His views summed up the mood across the boxing world. A clash between youth and experience, hunger and wisdom, power and precision. When the bell rings, all the talk will fade. Chisora's bets, Warren's praise, and Hearn's belief will mean little. What will matter most is who can impose their will when it counts. And as Chisora himself might say, that's when the real war begins. Fraser Clark, who has trained alongside both men, offered one of the most grounded and insightful takes on the brewing showdown.
Whoever's in front of you, fight them, smash them, move on to the next. So for me, this Fabio Wardley fight is the most important, and he is my Usyk, because there's no point thinking about Usyk.
Admitted that when you've been in there with Fabio Wardley, you feel that raw power, it's real and undeniable. Yet Clark was quick to balance the praise, emphasizing Joseph Parker's all-around game, his sharp footwork, disciplined defense, and years of experience against the world's elite heavyweights. This isn't youth versus age, Clark said, it's youth versus experience. Fabio brings energy and aggression. Parker brings composure and craft. He described the matchup as a battle between raw power and refined intelligence, a fight where adaptability would decide who prevails once the initial game plan begins to unravel. Clark painted a vivid picture of what fans should expect, a tense, unpredictable fight where momentum swings like a pendulum. One moment explosive, the next cerebral. That's heavyweight boxing at its best, he said. Clark summed it up with poetic precision. One's chasing destiny, the other defending legacy. For his part, Joseph Parker remained composed but delivered one remark that turned heads.
He's got wonderful skills, and under Andy Lee he's really rejuvenated, and I think he's one of the best heavyweights in the world, period. Now former world champion, of course. I think he's better than he once was, so that's a problem for Wardley, but Wardley brings that power in. And remember, Joe Joyce knocked Joe Parker out. Others have had him in trouble, Dillian White down, so you can never write Wardley out of anything.
Referred to Fabio Wardley as my Usyk. It wasn't arrogance, it was intent. That comparison revealed how seriously Parker is taking this fight, recognizing Wardley as the kind of dangerous opponent who demands full focus. Every fight matters, Parker said. Momentum is fragile in this sport. One bad night can undo everything. His words showed a fighter who understands the stakes. A man no longer chasing glamour bouts but pursuing consistency and legacy. Parker has seen triumph and heartbreak, learned from both, and now fights with the patience and wisdom of experience. Boxing commentator Adam Smith captured that transformation perfectly. Parker isn't just physically refreshed, he noted. He's mentally sharper than ever, and that's dangerous. Smith praised trainer Andy Lee for refining Parker's rhythm, timing, and defensive judgment, molding him into a more balanced and unpredictable fighter. Yet he didn't dismiss
versus Wardley.
Excellent fight in terms of Wardley. Now Wardley got out of jail in his last one.
Well,
he was getting systematically beaten.
Is it the right fight for Fabio?
I think Joe Parker wins it. I think
does that make it the right fight for Fabio?
The guy that
well, it's the right opportunity. It's all about opportunity. You have to. It's the right fight. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
for Fabio.
So. Absolutely. Look, they're both at the top of the tree.
Wardley's chances ever. Heavyweight boxing has no guarantees. Smith reminded fans one punch can rewrite everything, and Wardley has that kind of punch. Smith called it the classic contrast: precision versus power, control versus chaos. He believes Parker's composure could dictate the pace, but if Wardley turns it into a dogfight, all logic goes out the window. That's what makes this clash so compelling. Smith said, both men have clear paths to victory, but only one will keep his nerve when the chaos hits. Simon Jordan's recent conversation with trainer Dan Booth added even more depth to the pre-fight debate. Jordan questioned whether Wardley is truly ready for this level of competition. Parker's fought world champions and been through wars, Jordan said. Fabio hasn't been tested at that depth yet. Aggression alone won't carry you when the storm hits. Booth countered with the kind.
What do you think of Parker versus Wardley?
Excellent fight in terms of Wardley. Now Wardley got out of jail in his last one.
Well,
he was getting systematically beaten.
Is it the right fight for Fabio?
I think Joe Parker wins it. I think
does that make it the right fight for Fabio?
The guy that
it's the right opportunity. It's all about opportunity. You have to. It's the right fight. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
for Fabio.
So. Absolutely. Look, they're both at the top of
wisdom only fight men possess. You can't wait for the perfect time, he said. Growth comes through risk. Fabio needs this. Booth argued that Wardley's hunger and willingness to take big leaps are what separate real fighters from pretenders. If he wins, he becomes a global name. If he loses, he learns what it takes to be one. It was a fair point. This fight isn't just about rankings or belts, it's about evolution. Wardley is gambling big, but that's how stars are made. Parker, meanwhile, enters the ring with calm assurance, the composure of a man who has seen everything and survived it all. It's a collision of youth and wisdom, chaos and control, hunger and heritage, and both fighters have everything to gain and everything to lose. Johnny Nelson added tactical nuance to the discussion. He described Wardley as a beast with layers, a fighter capable of adjusting on the fly. He's not just swinging wild anymore. Nelson explained, he's learning about shot placement, rhythm, and timing. His warning to Parker was clear. He has to control the tempo.
He's got at least 6-7 set combinations. He can fight. So he needs to control this beast. If he doesn't control it, don't be surprised if you get an upset Saturday night. Don't be surprised.
Do you think Parker has the power or the speed and combination?
I think he's got.
If Fabio sets the rhythm, he's in trouble. That chaos is where Wardley thrives. Nelson's insight cut to the core. Parker has faced big punchers before, Joshua Wilder and Whitey. But Wardley's unpredictability poses a different kind of danger. It's not just the power, Nelson said. It's when and how he throws it. To him, this fight will be decided by composure. Whoever controls the pace and stays disciplined wins. As the final analyses rolled in, Adam Smith offered a closing thought that perfectly summed up the narrative. It's resurgence versus rise, he said. Parker, the reborn contender, refined, patient, and tactical. Wardley, the ambitious young lion, fearless, raw, and eager to prove he belongs. They're both at the top of their respective trees, Smith continued, but only one will stay there when the dust settles. And that's what makes this fight magnetic. It's not merely about titles or rankings, it's about validation. Parker stands as a man who fell, rebuilt, and now fights with renewed purpose. Wardley represents everything fresh, fearless, and unfiltered about the new heavyweight generation. Experience
got wonderful skills, and under Andy Lee he's really rejuvenated, and I think he's one of the best heavyweights in the world, period. Now former world champion, of course. I think he's better than he once was, so that's a problem for Wardley, but Wardley brings that power in. And remember, Joe Joyce knocked Joe Parker out. Others have had him in trouble, Dillian White down, so you can never write Wardley out of any.
It's hunger. Precision meets power. Wisdom meets will. In a sport where fleeting moments define entire legacies, this fight promises to deliver one of those moments, the kind that changes careers forever. One man fights to remain among the elite, the other to join them. When the first bell rings, it won't just be about punches. It will be about pressure, poise, and pride. One man chasing legacy,